Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Maxie followed James to assist him retrieve a misplaced toy, while Spinelli entered the living room and paused to visit with Felicia. She inquired how things were going living with Maxie, and he replied that he'd been reminded of what a wonderful mother Maxie was, and that living with his daughter was fantastic. He also admitted that the agreement had been a solid financial move, and that his contribution looked to benefit Maxie. Felicia was thrilled that their plan had worked. Maxie returned to the living room just as there was a knock on the door. Spinelli's pleasant attitude faded when he noticed Cody on the doorstep. Cody rushed past Spinelli just as James ran into the living room. Cody mentioned that he attempted to contact Maxie regarding James' riding boots. To James' joy, Cody handed him a box containing a new pair of boots. While James went to try them on, Cody informed Maxie that James' previous riding boots were too small, so he had taken it upon himself to get a new pair. Spinelli remarked that Cody should have discussed it with Maxie before purchasing the pricey boots, but Cody told Maxie that he could afford the boots because of his employment at Deception. Cody helped James slide into the boots, and it was evident that they did not fit properly. Cody decided to go outside and phone the store to ask about their exchange policy. Spinelli followed Cody. Meanwhile, James offered to wear his snow boots to riding lessons so that he could use the money from the new boots to help pay his mother's bills. Maxie felt bad when she learned James had overheard her discussing her financial problems. She informed her kid that the boots were a gift that he could keep. Outside, Spinelli accused Cody of taking advantage of Maxie's generosity, but Cody pointed out that Spinelli lived under Maxie's roof. Infuriated, Spinelli waited for Cody to make his phone call. Spinelli was eager to point out that he had moved in with Maxie out of necessity, and that it was nothing compared to Cody lavishing James with expensive gifts. Cody criticized Spinelli of overreacting, but Spinelli claimed that it was unfair to James because he had never met his father, and Maxie's previous 2 marriages had resulted in horrible father figures for James. Cody quickly stressed that the boots were a present, and he had no romantic feelings for Maxie. Spinelli didn't believe Cody because he was a scheming blackmailer disguised by his rugged cowboy charm. Cody chuckled. "You think I'm charming?" Cody inquired. Spinelli ignored the question since he was concerned about Maxie's well-being. Cody recognized Spinelli was jealous, so he reminded her that Maxie and her family were friends. "They're almost like family to me," Cody explained. Spinelli said that his romantic affections for Maxie had faded years ago, but Cody didn't believe him because he saw how Spinelli looked at Maxie. Cody offered to give Spinelli some suggestions for wooing Maxie, but Spinelli spat in frustration. Moments later, James dashed out to check on the boots and asked Cody to remain and play. When Cody, James, and Spinelli returned inside, Maxie ran off to collect herself. Felicia used the chance to speak with Spinelli about Cody. To Spinelli's amazement, Felicia stated that she had been incorrect about Cody and hoped that Spinelli would give him another chance. A little time later, everyone had gathered in the living room to watch Cody and James play a game. As everyone chuckled, Felicia asked Spinelli if he believed that Cody was excellent with James. Molly stopped by Christina's apartment with bags of groceries after her afternoon hearing was rescheduled until the next day. Christina said little, making Molly worry that she had been too aggressive. Christina pointed out that Molly was a Davis, so she expected no less. Molly reciprocated her sister's smile and volunteered to reorganize Christina's refrigerator once she'd filled it with fresh items. Molly and Christina took a seat on the sofa shortly after. When Christina stated wanting to eat healthy for her niece or nephew, a hopeful Molly inquired whether Christina was pregnant. Christina reminded her sister that it would be a few more days before she could take a pregnancy test. Christina became preoccupied after realizing she had misplaced her phone. As she looked around the sofa, she began telling a story about a customer who returned for her phone, only to discover that she had been holding it. Molly, on the other hand, was preoccupied with finding out if Christina was expecting a child. To Christina's amazement, Molly presented an early pregnancy test and asked if she wanted to take it. Molly said that not knowing was making her nuts. Before Christina could respond, her phone rang with a notice from across the room. Christina approached to check her phone and pleased when she noticed a text message from Blaze checking in. Molly spotted the text message and confronted her sister about it, but Christina said it was from a part-time employee at Charlie's pub. As they discussed Christina's close relationships with the Charlie's pub staff, Molly knew that a pregnancy would be a major interruption in her sister's life. Christina opted to take an early pregnancy test. Afterward, the sisters sat on the sofa and waited. When the timer went off, Christina stood up to get the test stick, but Molly said they should wait a few more days. "I'm pregnant," Christina stated as she examined the results. Molly, pleased, ran up and hugged her sister. Trina's family and friends met at the Savoy for a farewell celebration. Trina was impressed that Curtis had organized the party on such short notice, considering he had only been released from the hospital the day before. Curtis admitted that he wanted to send his daughter out in style because she was remarkable enough to be admitted to Sorbonne University for a semester. Trina told him it helped knowing he might be walking by the time she got home. Spencer arrived moments after, explaining that his grandmother and Kevin were on their way. After everyone had begun to mingle, Portia and Ava discussed Trina's trip. Ava pointed out that Portia had a strong reason to go to Paris. Portia recognized that she would miss her daughter, so Ava proposed that she and Portia rely on one another. Marshall and Stella questioned Spencer about his goals while Trina was studying at the Sorbonne. Spencer said that he had found a little place near college and was familiar with Paris. Trina approached and immediately saved Spencer, but Marshall and Stella were unapologetic. Spencer and Trina approached the pub to ask whether Jocelyn had seen Laura and Kevin, but she said no. Spencer informed Trina that his grandma was running late, but Jocelyn detected skepticism in his tone. Spencer stated that things were not going well between him and his grandmother. "I believe I may have lost her support," Spencer remarked. When Spencer checked his phone, Trina inquired whether there had been any news about Nicholas. Spencer surprised Trina and Jocelyn by revealing that he gave Ace to Nicholas because he feared Esme's memories had returned. Spencer explained to Trina and Jocelyn how he came to the conclusion that Esme had regained her memories, as well as why he believed Ace would be safer with Nicholas. "We all know what the old Esme is capable of," Spencer explained. Trina was disappointed that Spencer hadn't said anything sooner, and Jocelyn was curious about what happened next. Spencer reminded them that they would only have one chance at a trial, so they needed to collect evidence showing Esme's memories had returned. Jocelyn advised Spencer and Trina to concentrate on their trip to Paris, as she would deal with Esme. "Do not let Esme take that away from you too," Jocelyn warned. Spencer told Jocelyn that Esme would not give up without a fight. He was positive Esme would plan something. "Like what?" Jocelyn inquired. "I don't know." "Nothing good," Spencer responded. Nearby, Portia and Stella agreed that the previous several days had been interesting. Stella questioned if Portia was concerned about Spencer's trip to Paris with Trina, and Portia stated that she couldn't ignore all of the turbulence that followed him. "Wouldn't it be better for her to go to Paris without him?" she said. Marshall stopped by the tavern to check on Curtis. Curtis stated that he was relieved to be out of the hospital because sleeping had been difficult with the noisy machines and workers watching him. Marshall admitted that Curtis appeared to be on edge, and he encouraged his son to talk if he needed someone to listen. Curtis admitted that the uncertainty of not knowing if he would walk again was more difficult than knowing he would be locked in his wheelchair. "Hope takes courage," Marshall stated. Fortunately, Marshall admitted that Curtis was the most gutsy individual he knew. Curtis later told Trina that he was proud of her. He complimented her as a remarkable young woman who deserved to be acknowledged. Trina, moved, hugged her father. Afterwards, Trina approached Ava. After sharing an intimate hug, Ava advised Trina on how to make the most of her trip. Trina argued that without her internship at Ava's gallery, she would not have been able to study at the Sorbonne. Ava was flattered, but she knew that working at the Chuck had benefited Trina far more. Trina clarified that she was talking to Ava's support, not prestige. Trina commended Ava with encouraging her to trust her artistic instincts and to be more confident in expressing herself. Meanwhile, Spencer thanked Portia for inviting him to the party. Portia admitted that it was Curtis' idea. Spencer informed Portia that Trina's happiness was essential to him. Trina reminded her mother that she would only be away for 4 months. Portia convinced Trina that she would be okay and advised her to have fun in Paris. She acknowledged that she was amazed by her daughter's strength, beauty, and wisdom. Trina hugged her mom. Curtis then proposed a toast before supper was served. He lifted his glass and wished Spencer and Trina much love and happiness on their new adventure. Spencer informed Trina as they clinked glasses that he was excited to put the past behind them and look forward to the future. Heather waved Laura over in Pentonville. Heather offered her condolences on Bobby's death once Laura sat down, but Laura got right to the chase and asked Heather what she knew about Ace. Heather informed Laura that Ace was also her grandson, and she knew Nicholas had abducted the infant. Laura demanded to know who had informed Heather. She was taken aback when Heather revealed that Esme had paid her mother a visit. Heather moved gears to inquire about Laura's mother, Leslie, but Laura made it obvious that she was there to discuss Esme. Laura wondered why Esme had resorted to Heather, so Heather replied that Esme was unhappy because Laura's son had abducted Esme's child. Laura stated that the authorities did not consider it a kidnapping because Nicholas was Ace's father. Heather explained why Esme only trusted Heather. Laura was doubtful because Esme was scared of Heather after what happened at Windermere, when Heather and Ryan escaped from Shaddybrook with Esme. Laura claimed that she and Esme had become close, but Heather noted that Esme's perspective had shifted as a result of Esme's memories of all the horrific things Laura's family had done to her. Laura was astonished to discover that Esme's memories had returned on Christmas Eve when she broke into Windermere. Laura couldn't believe Esme hadn't said anything, but Heather reminded her that the charges stemming from the stupid sex tape was still hanging over her head. Laura questioned why Heather would endanger Esme by sharing her secrets when Laura could go to the police with the information. Heather said that she was counting on it since Esme needed to be locked up behind bars with Heather, where she belonged. Heather told Laura the truth about her attempts to persuade Esme to leave town, but Esme was determined to exact retribution. Heather stated that, knowing Esme as she did, Spencer and Trina were at the top of Esme's target list. Heather revealed that she had seen the real Esme. "And she's just like me," Heather added with a mournful tone. She recognized that Esme possessed Ryan's determination, and she was concerned that Esme might get into further problems if she pursued Spencer and Trina. "I need to save my daughter from herself," Heather remarked. She begged Laura to find and stop Esme before she did something dreadful. Esme searched a drawer in Alexis' office at the Invader for Alexis' business credit card. She strolled over to Alexis' desk, took up a laptop, and entered flight information. "Esme?" Kevin inquired from the doorway. Esme was startled and slammed the laptop shut before jumping up. Kevin apologized for frightening Esme, but he admitted that she appeared to be preoccupied with what she was doing. Esme calmed and said that she had been on edge since Nicholas took her son. Kevin sat down and explained that he had wanted to speak with her about what had transpired, but was startled to find her at work. Esme stated she needed to be active because she was concerned about her son. Esme was certain that Ace was terrified and confused because he didn't know Nicholas, but Kevin assured her that Nicholas would look after Ace. Esme asked why Kevin was there, and he reminded her that she was his niece. Esme admitted that the relationship seemed weird to her. Kevin wondered why Esme hadn't called the cops or notified anybody about Nicholas' actions. She maintained that it would have been futile since Nicholas was Ace's father. Kevin admitted that the cops could not have done much to help her. "Why not come to us?" Kevin inquired. Esme reminded him that Nicholas was Laura's son and Spencer was her grandchild. Esme questioned whether Laura would have sided with her over family. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.